Hello and good evening everybody, and welcome to tonight's stream. So hopefully you can hear me all right and you can see me all right, so let me know if you can. So where are we at? Okay, so this is the AGORA Models special Routemaster, the Southend Transport Show Bus Routemaster. So it's VLT 172. It's their show bus. It's fleet number 102 in their fleet, and it was actually stopped from service on the 31st of December 1993. So it was a long time ago when this was on the road, actually. So, and I do believe the bus was exported abroad somewhere. I don't know where, but I think it's still around, but it's been abroad for quite some time, so it isn't actually about. So VLT 172, of course, was a special bus anyway. It was a bus that did not have sliding opening windows at the front upper deck. So I've obviously copied that as much as I can with this model. And there's several other features on this bus that I've tried to copy as well. So hopefully you'll see them when I get it finished. So tonight, why have we come on tonight then? So after all this time, well, I've come on tonight because a few weeks ago, I really lost my mojo. I really lost my interest and everything, and I just didn't want to build. It hasn't helped the fact that I've been not very well, and so I've not felt like doing something to the bus. But when you're doing a big project like this and you are painting it, and you're painting it into a totally different color scheme to what it was originally, it does take an awful lot of thinking about and doing, and you have to have photographs and some reference points to go to and everything else, and all the time you're cross-referencing things to get the build right and everything. So which hopefully I've done. And I was going to show you a photograph, but I can't get my photograph on screen for some reason. But it doesn't matter because I've got several other photographs to show you. And this week I've received a couple of photographs which I've got permission to share from the photographers. And so this is the bus in question. So this is VLT 172. These are photographs, and I know it's shining a bit on screen here, but this is both sides of the bus, and this was when it was in service. And you can see it's got the Deedman advert on the side there, and the little side fleet names, goodness me, my finger, fleet names of Southend Transport, the little print there, and on the next one there. So okay, so as you can tell, it looks rather nice when it was in service, and as I say, it was their show bus. They showed it at various events because of course they had it from 1988 to 1993, so they was able to show it around various places, and it actually won a couple of trophies as well, as far as I'm led to believe. So anyway, why am I doing this? Well, if you remember a long time ago, there was two buses that was up for being done. This one and the Queen's Golden Jubilee one. And I put it to the public vote, which one should I do? And that's for AGORA Models, of course. And you, the public, said do the Southend Transport one, Dave, because there isn't one. Well, since that time, I've since found out that there is one. There is a Harshet AGORA Models one in Southend Transport colours, but it's in the other colours. It's in the more moderner colours than these, and the difference is that they changed the colour scheme a little bit. You see the upper deck window frames, they were blue on the more modern one. And then the fleet name sides, there was massive Southend transport right along the side there. So that was the only difference in the fleet livery of the bus. So I decided to do the livery that was the first type of livery and the main type of livery that this bus was in when it was going around shows and in service, of course. I've had quite a tottering time with it. The decals and stickers and things like that have been an absolute shocking pain to get right. But finally, I've been able to get them right. And the destination blinds have been a shocking pain to do as well. So anyway, I've managed to do all that. I managed to get all that sorted. And the paintwork. Goodness me. Yeah, I mean, let me talk about the paintwork later. Let's welcome everybody first. So let me go through the chat because there's hundreds of chats. So good evening, everybody. So first off then, Steve131, evening all. Hi, Steve. Gillian Stott says, good evening, Dave, and everyone in chat. Hi, Gillian. And then we've got Alex Demetrius. Says, good evening, Dave. Your bus looks amazing. Good luck with tonight's build, and hello to everyone in chat. Hi, Alex, and thank you very much indeed. David Martin's joined us tonight. So good evening, Gillian and everyone. So hi, David. And then we've got Yorkshire Crafter. Good evening, Dave and everyone. Hi, Julie. We've got Horlix in as well. Good evening, Dave. Have a great show. Thank you, Horlix. Thank you for joining us. And we've got Lindsay's builds in as well. So hi, everyone. Hi, Lindsay. Thanks for joining. We've got Kenneth. Kenneth says, hello, everyone. And Sir David, afternoon from Atlanta in Georgia. Love your videos and channel. Thank you very much indeed, Kenneth. Very much appreciated. Me chat's jumping. So Steve131 says, Kenneth, what's the weather like there? Question mark. Horlix says, maracas out, everyone, and that's the music. The music, the beginning music, so the intro. So yeah, shake your maracas. So Kenneth says it's sunny and hot. Yeah, well, it's been not really sunny here today, but it's been a bit cloudy. It's not been overly warm. It's been about 16 degrees, which is quite cold, really. But it has been dry and fine, thank goodness. So Steve131 says, nice. Same here. Okay, that's wherever you are, Steve131. Kenneth, smiley face there. Max Modz is in. So good evening, everybody. Good evening, Mark. Thanks for joining. And Yorkshire Crafter says, loud and clear, Dave. Thank you very much indeed, Julie. Much appreciated for that. So Steve131 says, Max Modz, evening, sir, with a waving hand. And Kenneth says, I can hear you, Lord David. Thank you. I'm not a lord yet. I'm not even a sir, really. So it's just you lot. You call me Lord or Sir or whatever you want to call me. So actually, I was called Sir when I was a parish councillor. So long story, but I'll cut it short. I was a parish councillor in this parish around here, and one of my offices of parish council was to be a school helper. Okay, so we have a little school up the road here, and it's a junior school, of course, and you had to pick a class and you had to be with that class the term of office you was in as a parish councillor. And what made it worse was I was actually the chair of the parish council at the time, so I had to do it. There was no getting out of it. So obviously you had to have all your checks and everything, and then you was entered into the school, and you had to spend the day there with them. I do believe about 2 days a month or something like that. But it was lovely. It was absolutely lovely, you know, running around with all the kids, and, you know, and every one of them called me Sir, which was great. You know, it was absolutely great. But yeah, lovely time. But it was a difficult time as well, being a parish councillor. Anybody who's been a parish councillor knows that it's a difficult job because you're restricted by rules and regulations, and basically you can't do nothing. So anyway, That's another long story. So Max Modz says, evening Steve 131. Steve 131 says, Yorkshire Crafter, you're better now. Are you better now? Are you better now? So Yorkshire Crafter says, Steve 131, yes, a bit better, thank you. Steve 131 says, Yorkshire Crafter, good news. Yeah, thumbs up and sunglasses on. Yeah. So Bookman's Model Mania says, good evening, Sir Dave. How's it going? Thank you, Book, for joining. I'm going to give you one of these. Yeah, it's going absolutely marvelous now. Got my mojo back. I've got my stem of everything back to get building again. And yeah, I think everybody's been where I've been on these builds. You just get so fed up of them, fed up to top attic and all that. You just want to walk away from them and leave them for a little bit. So anyway, but I'm back and I'm going to be doing this till I've finished, and I'm going to show you what I've done later on. So David Martin says, good evening all, and I hope everyone is having a great weekend. Yeah, we've been having a pretty good weekend, really. As I say, the weather's not been too good. Well, you can't see this, but I can't even get the sun on my face, but I've got blinds across here, but the sun's actually just come out now. So the sun shines on the righteous, so you must be all righteous. So right, Kenneth says, hey Mr. Bookman, how are you doing today? Book says, hey Kenneth, doing great. We've got Crafty Chris in. She says, good evening all in chat. So hello darling. And I know that Crafty Chris is watching her favorite program, so I don't want to disturb her from her program. So everything's good, all right, this darling, at the minute. So Bookman's Model Mania says, hello Chris. Kenneth says, awesome. What tools do I need to whatever I do? Flying Dutchman, ship Bookman. Okay, that's a big question, is that for Book? I'm pretty sure he'll be able to answer that on his stream, or answer you privately, perhaps. Steve 131 says, Crafty Chris, evening. Yorkshire Crafter says, evening, Crafty Chris. Crafty Chris says, hey, Book, and Steve, and Julie, and Alex, and Gillian, and Horlix, and Kenneth. And Bookman's Model Mania says, Kenneth, I have done the Dutchman. I have done the Dutchman yet. Or I haven't done the Dutchman yet, but I would say you need an X-Acto knife, some clamps, brushes. Alexa, shut up. Sorry about that. Dear, oh dear. Had to go south somewhere, didn't it? So maybe hobby saw and a mitre box and sandpaper, just off top of my head. Yeah, so there's all them things that you're going to need, Kenneth. So Book says Model Expo should have a kit with most everything you need. Okay, jolly good. So Horlix says hi all, and Chris. And my mum's in tonight, so Mary Oglesby, face pink, tears, evening. So evening all, ma'am. Yeah, face pink, because well, I was out in the sun the other day, but we've got not much sun today, have we? So anyway, so yeah, good evening, ma'am. So, and Horlick says, not really seen the weather today, been ill. Oh no, sleeping on and off today. Oh no, is it that that infection you was telling us about the other day? Goodness me, I hope you get better soon, Horlicks. So Kenneth says, okay, thank you, Book. And we've got David Bassett in, says, good evening, everyone, and hi to Sir Dave. Hello there, David. Yeah, and that's a one ding for a stop. So David Bassett says, evening to Horlicks and Steve 131. David Martin says, VLT 172 is registered in Argentina. It's WYJ782, been re-registered then. Wow. Okay. So thank you ever so much for that information. So it's in Argentina. So it still does exist then. But as I say, it's in Argentina. So song about Argentina somewhere, aren't they? Yeah. Don't let me go there. So, Bookman says, always good to get your mojo back. Yes, absolutely it is. Yeah, absolutely it is. Steve131 says, evening, David Bassett. David Bassett says, good evening, Crafty Chris. Julie at Yorkshire Crafter. And David Bassett says, hi to Max Modz. David Bassett says, good to hear you have your mojo back, Sir Dave. Ding, ding. Yes, I do. And I have my mojo back because I'm very, very, very near to the finishing line of this bus. This week I will finish it, and I'll show you where I'm up to in a minute. So when we get through the chat, Max Mod says, "Evening, David Bassett." Brooke says, "You'll never have all the tools you need." Laughing out loud. That is absolutely true. Yeah, you never have enough tools. So with whatever project you've got, yeah, I can say that from experience. Yeah, I've got a garage full of tools, and some tools you only need them for one job in particular. So David Bassett says, weather has been nice here in Buckinghamshire, but a little windy today. Okay, and David Bassett says, my son Philip has been at the Vauxhall Car Show at Santa Pod Raceway displaying his modified Astra VXR. Wow, they are a lovely car. Yeah, I know them well. They are a lovely car indeed. They are. So thank you ever so much for that. So there's actually been a car rally past here today, and my neighbour actually said to me, he said, didn't you see all them cars go by, Dave? I said, yeah. I said, but I've been busy. He said, well, I thought you would have had your Moggy Man out. I said, actually, I didn't know it was on today. I said, and I said, besides that, I said, Matilda's actually got a problem. So yeah, Matilda's actually got a brake problem, and I think it's down to one of the rubber pipes at the front. When you put the foot on the brake pedal, the pedal goes hard. So what we're thinking is happening is that the rubber brake pipes, when you push the foot on the brake pedal, they're imploding on themselves. That means squeezing themselves and restricting the fluid going through, which old pipes do, old rubber pipes. So I'll be putting some new pipes on it shortly, hopefully, all being well. So what Steve131 say? Put your mouth on Santa Pod, Sir Dave. Yeah, okay. I think we was on about that the car there, the VXR. Yeah, very nice car, VXRs. Right, okay, let's crack on a bit. So I'm going to start the comment there, and hopefully I've taken the comment off. And I need a drink actually. Wait a minute, a cup of tea is right over there, so I'll get it in a second. So I'm going to change the camera, and you're going to see this side of the bus here for now. Okay, and there we go. So there's the side of the bus, and obviously this is live, so it's just gone at 9:05 on Sunday evening. So I'm just gonna have a slurp of my tea. Oh, that's better. Okay, so where are we at then? Well, we've got the other side panels on. They're all on, and they're all screwed on. All the strips are on, and everything else on the other side. And the strips and the screw heads, where it's been scratched, have been touched up on the other side, and the roof's all been touched up on the top, and the front has been touched up on the front. The back, I haven't got the back on yet because it needed a sticker on, which I've got, and I've put the sticker on, and that's all ready to go on. Apart from it needs the lights putting in, which I will be doing, but not tonight with you guys on live. I will be doing that very, very shortly. So that's the back panel painted. And what else have we done then? Well, we've painted that panel, okay, which goes on here. And we will be putting this on tonight as well, all being well. So I can show you a little bit going together. Okay, and then we've painted this panel. Okay. And that goes similarly there next to that one. So that leaves us with the final panel, which I've also done. Okay, so there's the final upper deck panel with the lower deck bit in there and the stripe on, of course, and yeah, it's just dried. I actually painted that 3 hours ago. So, but yeah, that's dry. So that'll go in here. I'm just going to put these in where they're going to go for now. Okay, I'm going to show you how it goes together. So I'm just going to pop that in there nice and gently. So that's then upper deck panels done. Okay, with the stripe, and then the stripe will become clear once we get the strips on, because the strips make the stripe nice and square, you see. At the moment the strip is not quite square, and that's because where I tape it off, I tape each individual panel off and spray each individual panel. You can gauge where the strip's going to be by the holes for the strips. So I just simply tape this side of the hole and that side of the strip, each side on each one, and then spray them, and then tape off everything else on the panel, so that with wide masking tape, so you don't get any blue leaking through onto your white or whatever color you're doing. And I think you know how I do that by now. I think you know that I put some wide masking tape. Find me wide masking tape. So I put wide masking tape at the back of the panel and make like a handle. So I would double it over like that and make a handle, stick that to the panel, and I would hold the handle of the tape with the panel underneath, and then spray it like that, and you can twist it and turn it around wherever you want it. So just by using a bit of masking tape behind the panel. So I do each individual panel individually, and then the strips and screws, they're all done. They're all done. These are the blue ones. So bring these into shot for now. I can show what I do here. So the strips and screws, the strips are just stuck onto, I haven't actually released these. So they're stuck onto rolls of that wide masking tape that is backwards rolled. So in other words, sticky side up. So we make them into little sausages, put them on there, and then we stick the strips to them, and then we just simply spray the strips. Sorry, can't speak. And then the screws. Yes, that is a line of screws. Line of blue screws. So that is double-sided sticky tape. You stick it down, then you take the peeling backing off, and then you get each individual screw and you put it downwards onto the cardboard like that, and until you make a row, and then you can simply just spray them over, and Bob's your uncle. And then that's how you spray the bits. And you have to obviously take them off these stuck strips of like that, strips of masking tape, but that's quite easy to do. Well, it is when you're not one-handed. So these ones at this end, they're going to be half white and half blue. That's why they're a bit like that. These half white and half blue ones. So I've yet to paint the white bits on them, so I've got to measure them where they go, put a bit of tape across, and then make sure that I don't spray any white feather down onto the blue. So but then only spray up to where I need to go onto the white. And obviously they'll be done individually, so they're quite easy. So yeah, so that's the blue ones. The white ones are actually just down there, so you can't see them at the minute, but if I just bring my camera a little bit down that way, there's a board full of them down there. So all the white strips, all the white screws, so and they're done exactly the same for this bus. So okay, well, not only have I done them, but I've also done these panels as well. So we've got the bottom panel there, I'm just putting these on loosely, guys, so that it shows you where they go. And then that one there. Okay. And so I've physically now got all the panels all sprayed, all the screws sprayed, all the strips sprayed. So all I've got to do is put it together. And I'm going to do that at my leisure because, well, you'll see in a minute, I'll put this one on here and you'll see that it takes forever to put on because obviously you've got to be so careful with your screwdriver, you know, not slip. Sometimes when you pick a screw off the painted pad, sometimes at the bottom of the screw you have to knock the little bit of paint off before you put it into the hole on the strip. So there's all sorts of things to think about like that, and you know, you can go along all day and make it really hard and difficult, but you know, simplest is best. So obviously once that's on, that will go on there like that, which is Peter Curtin's lovely, beautiful advert. So that'll go on there, and then the Southend transport, which is here. I don't know if you can see that through there. Maybe it's shining a bit too much. There, you can see it now. I think I'm reaching across to see if I can see through the camera. So there, Southend transport. They will go here, just in that panel there. Like it is exactly on the real thing. And then the smaller Southend transports will go the front and the back of the roof, and then we've got some other bits and bobs to put on it as well. We've got the front adverts and the rear adverts to go on. Now I think if I bring this picture of this bus up here, you might be able to see it. I don't know. So let's see if we can get it in focus. So right at the very front there, of the destination blind, you'll see that there's two maybe see it on the bottom one better, I don't know, two adverts. Okay, there's one at that side and one at that side. Well, I've got them identical. Peter Curtin's made them for me. Thank you very much, Peter Curtin. And they're going on the front, and there's two on the back as well, so they'll be going on the back. So they'll be going on there. And all being well, within the next couple of days, I have got a couple of days where I've got not a lot to do. So within the next 3 days, I'll give myself 3 days. Within the next 3 days, this is going to be finished, and then I'm going to start on the other one. I'm going to start on the East Yorkshire open top one, which I'll tell you about later. Anyway, so that's how it's going to look. Let's bring up the chat a little bit before it gets run away with us, and we'll see who's been in the chat. Oh, goodness me, look at this. There's loads of chat. So, David Martin says, Lord Dave, VLT172 is re-registered in Argentina. Yes, thank you very much indeed for that information. Steve131 says, try your moggy on Santa Pod, Sir Dave. No, my moggy on Santa Pod would... I'd still be there when everybody would be going home for after the quarter of a mile. So our moggy is a very old moggy, still has its side valve engine in, and you're lucky if you can get 45 miles an hour out of it. So yeah. Okay, so David Bassett says, son spent hours polishing his car. He totally rebuilt the engine himself and got it remapped to a higher output, upgraded the brakes, intakes, exhaust, etc. Cost him a small fortune, goodness me. So David Martin says, good evening, Crafty Chris. And Book says, I have to say the rear roof panel on mine really did not want to go on, but I fought through and managed to get it to fit. Now I need to find touch-up paint for a couple of spots. Okay, the touch-up paint I use is Tamiya X7 red. Now this is no good for scratches or strips, but it is good for just the ends of the screws. So just use a tiny bit on the ends of each screw and you'll find that it fills them in nicely. But for scratches or anything like that, it's not worth it. You'll have to find a better mix than the X7, but that's as far as we can get for now. So David Bassett says, well done with all that painting. Even without the white edging strips and not screwed down, looks fantastic. Thank you very much indeed, David. Yeah, it looks absolutely beautiful. I cannot wait to get it done and take it outside for a few nice photographs. So especially now we've got some good weather coming this week, and goodness me, we have got some good weather coming this week as well. So fingers crossed and all that. Sorry, I'm just having a slap of my tea. So, right, okay, where are we? So, Crafty Chris says, hi, David M and David B. And we've got John's model making in. It says, bus is looking brilliant, Dave. Thank you very much for that, John. Certainly has taken a lot of doing. This panel, well, these two panels, let's just go and have a look at these two panels here. These two panels here, I have painted them 3 times. And I know that sounds ridiculous, but I'm about to sand them all off again and spray them again 3 times. And even now, this panel here, I have to go outside with a polish and polish it and get some of the imperfections off it. This panel is the same. I'm going to have to polish this one. But yeah, some things I like this with this model. Patience is the key. If it isn't right, go back and do it again. And really try and get it sorted if you can. So yeah, just shows you that it's not as easy as what you think. You have got to put your mind to it and do it as best you can. And yeah, the rewards after you've done it are absolutely brilliant, absolutely fantastic. They really are. It won't pay you back in money, but it'll pay you back in dividends of, wow, people will come and look at that and say, fantastic, never seen anything like that, brilliant. So Steve131 says John's model making seconded. Thank you very much. David Bassett says evening, John's model making. David Bassett says you have the red strip to add as well. Yeah, so Dave, yes, I do. Yeah, I can't do that yet until everything is on. Now the red strip is going just below. There's the strip here. It's going just below the strip here, all the way around. Okay, and it will be narrower than this strip. In fact, it'll be 5mm. So all the way around. And if I can get away with 4mm, I may do, because I haven't got a lot of space between the advertisement bar, the advertisement and the strip. And I do know that the front destination, the bar across the front destination, the red strip just fits on there as per the real thing. So if you look at the red strip there, you'll see that it just fits on that bar. So it's about 4mm or thereabouts wide is that red strip, and I've got all that to do, and that'll be painted by hand all the way around. It will be taped off, of course, for me to do it by hand, but I'll be doing that by hand all the way around, and that'll be one of its last jobs. And then I can obviously get it on its side like this, and then get my steady stick and my paintbrushes, and but I'll have it all taped off where it's going to go. I'll be using. No, this is advertising, but who cares? I'll be using this. This is what I use, and they call it fine line tape. It's by Scotch 3M, and it's an 1/8" wide is this tape. So I'll be using this tape for taping off where I'm going to be painting that red line all the way around. So it's expensive as that tape, but it pays dividends. And you might know that I use that tape on all these. So when I'm painting all these, you can probably see that the only place it bleeds is on the screw holes, but the rest of the way it doesn't bleed. And that's what this Scotch tape does. It's absolutely fantastic. So fine line tape, 218, 3M, 1/8 in width, and you can get that off the internet somehow. But it's brilliant for model making and painting. It's actually even better than your Tamiya Tamiya tape. So, but yeah, did I just say that? I did. Anyway, that comes by trial and error, doesn't it? So yes, I have got the red strip to do. John's Model Making says, evening David Bassett and all in chat. David Bassett says that really will be magnificent when finished, Dave. Yeah, I think it will. I'm hoping it will. I'm hoping it will be magnificent. Certainly makes me look every time I come into the room because it's totally different colour to everything else. So, and yeah. So Lindsay's build says, have a look at Real Match Paints, Buxman's Model Mania. Okay. So I think that's the end of the chat for now. So let's go back and let's go see if we can put some of this away so I don't scratch anything. And then we'll try and put some strips on and try and do a little bit of building for you. So I obviously don't want to scratch it, and I obviously don't want to that was up there, wasn't it? Yeah, that's right. I have to think where I put the bits. So I'll take the advert off over that side for now. I'll take this panel off. Okay, so off we go. Let's put that one up there as well. Okay, if I can. And then I'll try and put this panel on, all being well. So I'm going to need a screwdriver. Yeah, that will help. A screwdriver. And I've got a bit of a white out here with this light. I don't know. Let's have a look. So something that came through the post this week, as well as them photographs, was a model of 102, VLT 172. So it's actually made by a Corgi, and it's actually part of a set. But this was only by itself on the good old eBay, but they are available elsewhere, of course. So yeah, it's a Corgi model, made in China, so it's nice and cheap. So theoretically, I suppose it looks like a Routemaster, doesn't it? It's the closest thing you're going to get. It's the closest one we're going to get to this bus. In fact, it says VLT 172 on it, 102, and it's got the adverts on the front there. It's got the Deadman advert on the sides. It's got the red strip. It's got the old livery with the small Southend transport in there. It's got the Southend transport up front, and the only thing it hasn't got its red bonnet strip, which this obviously has because it's been a show bus. And there's several other little things missing off it, but there's only so far you can go with these smaller models. This is the closest I found model-wise to VLT 172. Now I have got in my cabinet behind me, I've got a couple of the EFEs 176 Routemasters that were painted in the Southend colours, but they have got two differences. One's got the bigger lettering along the side, and the other's got and they both got blue window bars up top, and well, that was the newer colours, but one of them's actually totally wrong because it's got the smaller lettering like this, and when they had the smaller lettering like this, they had the white window upper deck bars. So it's grammatically wrong, is that EFE one, but never mind. It's as close as we can get. So I have actually got a couple now that I can show with this on the table when we do take it to a show, and that will be soon. We'll be taking this to a show very, very soon. So along with our others, and Christine's Eddie Stobbard wagon as well. So we'll be taking them along to a show very, very soon, and I'll let you know all about that, and I'll produce hopefully a little video to come up on YouTube with it as well. So okay, so this I thought was reasonable at $4.99. I thought, well, that's absolutely perfect at $4.99, and it's perfect to go with this to give you a size relation. It says it's 163 in scale, 164, something like that. It's the old Corgi, but it's made in China, so, and they don't quite have the whiz wheels, thank goodness. But yeah, it is die cast, and as I say, it will do as a show model to go with this. So that's that. Right, screwdriver time. Why am I getting a bit of a white out? I think it's my light. Yeah, my main light. My camera doesn't like it, does it? What happens if we drop the camera a little bit? I don't know. Let's see. I don't know. It might pick it up in a second. See what it does in a second. So Buckland's Mania says thanks, Lindsay. And David Bassett says that brings back memories of you building your first 2 buses, Sir Dave. Yeah, absolutely, absolutely indeed. So David Bassett says you'll have to strip down the 1/24 Sunstar Routemaster and repaint that to get your set together. Well, goodness me, I don't know about that, David. I honestly don't know. I think what I've done so far is, yeah, I mean, if there's somebody out there in Tinternet land that wants to strip down a 1/24 scale Routemaster to print it in this scheme, then yeah, go for it. Go for it, or even go for the 112 version. So yeah, I would like to see somebody else's efforts, and it's nice. It's nice on the Routemaster group there. That we have the Facebook Routemaster group, that we seeing some other different ones now. We're seeing a Bedford one in green, and we're seeing a Stagecoach one with the Stagecoach striping up here, which is brilliant, absolutely brilliant. And then there is another one in paint at the minute, but I won't spoil it for you. But just watch out in the next few weeks or months, because there is another painted Routemaster that will be coming on show via somebody else, of course, on the Routemaster show, on the Routemaster Facebook group, and yeah, is very, very nearly sorted it. So yeah, watch out for that one. That will be a stunner. Okay, right, let's enough of me yakking and carrying on then. Let's try and get this in a little bit. So I'm going to try and pick up the screws, reaching across. I'm sorry about that. So this is just a case of lining the strips up, of course, like it normally is, and popping your screws in, making sure they're going across. And I'm just picking the screws off the sheet there that I've painted at the other side of the bus, and popping each screw in. Try and get it in something like, and you can see that you don't really want to be rushing when you're doing this job, because it's so easy to scratch, and it would be an absolute crying shame to do all this work and then just to be able to have a few scratches and say I mean, yeah, I've done that in various places, and it's so soul destroying sometimes. So I know how Buck feels when he's after the touch-up paint and everything, and everybody else that's done that. So I know exactly how you feel. It's not very nice. So, and that's with any model, really. It's not just with this one. Obviously, it's some of you are building the other models, and obviously scratching them would be an absolute heartache. It really would. And you do have all my sympathies, especially when you're building away. So yes, so this one will be finished this week, guys. It will be finished probably by Wednesday evening, shall I say. I mean, that gives me 3 full days then. So I've nearly got 3 full days, or as I can spend time on it this week. So that's why I'm not going to be rushing too much tonight. Just going to show you a bit tonight. And once I get it done, I will produce a little video of it done, and I will be putting pictures, of course, on the AGORA website, and I'll be putting pictures on the Routemaster group site, the Miniature Buses site, Facebook group site, and anywhere else that wants it. Maybe 1 or 2 of the real Routemaster groups. So I may be popping it on 1 or 2 of them, because I do know that there is some ex-members of the Facebook AGORA builds who are actually just members of the normal Routemaster groups now. So and I do know that they would like to see it too. So from what they was telling me a long time ago when I first started this project. So obviously I've got a big thank you to say as well, and I've got a big thank you to say first of all to AGORA Models, because it's through AGORA Models that I'm actually doing this. So, and they was quite happy for me to do this in this livery. They wanted me to tell everybody what I was going to do, whether I was going to do a gold one or this one or another one, and they wanted to know fully about where it was going to be shown and everything. So I let them know all that, and they very, very kindly sent me the whole pack to build, and they said, you know, this is a build that we want you to do, and we want you to just take your time with it. It doesn't matter if it takes a year or 2 years or 3 years. They just wanted it doing in some scheme that wasn't even done before by anyone. So, and I've gone wild with it. I've gone absolutely wild with it. So it's had bits and pieces done to the insides. It's had all the Southend transport stickers on the inside, matched from a real bus there on the inside. It's going to get the Bluetooth mod, so the Horlix Partwork Upgrades Bluetooth mod. It's going to get that. Is this, and so it's all prepped, ready for that going in, and because this one's going to be not only on show to the public when we take it places, it's going to be on show here at home as well, and it's going to be lit up with the others. So we've done the modification of the front sliding windows. It doesn't have front sliding windows anymore. It has just plain front windows. That was an easy modification to do. and it's had several other bits and pieces done to it apart from the paint, which I haven't done with any of the others. Some of the cab, for instance, has been modded to look as though it's quite worn. Some of the insides look as though it's quite worn in places, and as I say, it's got the adverts in from Peter Curtin, who did adverts for this one, for the interior of the real bus, or one of the real buses at the Canvey Island Bus Museum. He actually visited there. So let's go back to the chart. Okay, trying to, yeah. So David Bassett says, yes, those United Counties Stagecoach Bedford-based 112 scale models are very good too. Yes, they are. So John's Model Making says, night all. Okay, thank you for joining, John. Good night now. And Mark says, night, John. David says, anyone in the chat have a spare domed cap? Item 6F from issue 6. I have unfortunately lost one of mine on the 8 that had the screws on the front subframe. Had to look online, but issue 6 is not available anywhere. Okay, if I can actually get one off this. Did I glue them on? No, I didn't. So if you're looking now on your bus, this is actually what David wants. It's a little silver cap off the front of the suspension. Just caps over the screws, and I'm not sure if my camera will pick it up. It's a bit lethargic as my camera. So, but that's what David wants, is one of them silver plastic caps. So if you have a couple, he would obviously be very, very happy for you to get in touch with David, either here or on the Facebook group, and hopefully you can find one, David. So, and I'm going to have to just knock that off there and bring my camera back, because my camera's gone funny again. Okay, facing. Okay, let's go back to the camera now. Settings, facing, camera, webcam, go. Thank you. Dear, oh dear. So we've got Mr. Ian Campbell in from Partwork Upgrades. Hi all. Hi Ian. Thanks for joining. And yeah, we've just been saying about the Bluetooth modification that is available for this, and lots of other things that are available for this beautiful bus. So there's a Bluetooth modification available. There's a dust cover available. There's the mats. There's the information boards. There's absolutely loads and loads of things. So pop along to partworkupgrades.com and see what there is in there. I'm sure Ian will be able to sort you out on that one. So David Bassett says, evening Ian, and Ian says, hi Dave. In fact, hi Dave, and Sir Dave, hello. And Ian Campbell says, send me dimensions, happy to 3D print a few for Dave if you can't find any. That's very kind of you, Ian. Thank you very much indeed. So there you are, David. So David Bassett says, thanks for that, Sir Dave. No, you're welcome. And David Bassett says, and to you, Ian Campbell. And Dream Builders joined us. Hi, DS in chat. Hello, Dream Builder. Now then, how are you? So, right, I'm just going to pop back now to this and see if I can pop this strip on. So I've found this other strip then now, so which is the strip that goes along here, and I'm going to be popping that strip in now for this panel. So, and yeah, for those of you who are building this live, or any model live, for instance, on your own, it is very, very difficult to keep up with the chart, keep up with where your camera's going and everything else. I mean, my camera's not the best, and I don't even know if it's too dark or too light, you know, but I'm rather hoping that, you know, you guys can actually see what I'm doing, or, you know, I really appreciate that that you're there as well. So, and as I say, I'm just picking the screws up from the board at the other side of the bus there, popping them on my screwdriver and then popping them in. They don't actually need oil, and that's because they've got paint on them, and the paint's, you know, acting as like an oil, a lubricant, to, even though the paint's dry, but it still acts like a lubricant in a way for these little screws. So come on, get in there. There we go. So I'm sorry I streamed so late tonight, guys, as well. I just I plucked up the courage and thought, well, I've got to stream, and I've got to show you guys something of this bus. I've got to show you guys that I've got my mojo back. I've got to show you that, you know, I am going to finish this bus very, very shortly. So, and I wanted to also show my appreciation for you all as well for sticking with me with this project and any others that's been in the community, because we do really, really appreciate you guys commenting and sharing your builds with us, especially on the Facebook groups. So, or anything that you want, or anything you want to sell, or anything like that, you know, we appreciate that a lot, because it means that you're being interreactive with the group and everything, or groups, which is so good. So that's really nice. Okay, so let's get these in. Nearly got to the end of this strip now. And I'm going to be doing the top strip, I think. Or maybe there are 2 strips down there, down the centre, maybe. Yeah. And as daft as it seems, it's therapeutic, is this work, once you know what you're doing and where you're going and what bits you put in where. It's quite therapeutic. You know, you can do this while you're watching telly, or you can't do it when you're whilst you're doing your ironing, like, but you can do it while you're watching telly. Right, let's get that in. So that's enough for now. Let's have a look at these, see if these are the ones that go there. They are indeed, I think. Yeah. Let's have a look at that one. Can't get my fingers to work. There we are. No, is that one right? Yeah. Or does it want to go the other way around? Get my fingers to work. Come on. Get in there. Yeah, I think that's right. Yeah. It's just my fingers that's moving it, I think. Yeah. Looks as though it'll fit nicely. Okay, let's get a couple of screws in there, then we'll go back to the chat and I'll have a chat with you. So I'll just get these in. The problem you have sometimes, and that is that the paint on the end of the screw, where you've stuck it down to the tape, sometimes is a little bit wet, and it does get on your fingers sometimes, so you have to be careful where you put your fingers on your build. Oh, this is going to be problematic getting in there. It's me shaking and talking and carrying on. There we go. In that one. Yeah, it will line up nicely. Okay. So yeah, and sometimes they stick together as well if you've got a little bit of paint on. You have to be very, very careful to get them lined up and get them in and get them started. And sometimes if you're clever, you can just wipe the, let's say we have a bit of white paint on the blue paint. Sometimes if you have a little bit of kitchen towel, for instance, and you moisten it and then just rub it off, sometimes it comes off like that if you get a little bit of the paint popping onto where you don't want it. It depends on how much there is, and I wouldn't say go ahead with some tapes or anything like that, because that'd be far too much for it. So just pop a couple more in and then I'll bring up the chat again. So why am I shaking, guys? Why am I shaking? Shaking the tree bars. Get in there. There we are. So the tails of that one are coming out this way more, just like they did on that one. And anyway, let's bring up the chat and then we'll go a little bit further. Excuse me. Right, let's have a look. So, goodness me. Where did I start it? There we are. Start it there. So, Yorkshire Crafter says, heading to bed. Good night, all. So, good night, Julie. Thanks for joining. Very much appreciated. And yeah, have a good night's sleep now. And yeah, we'll see you tomorrow night. We will. So, and Crafty Chris says, night, Julie. Ian Campbell says, night, Julie. And David Bassett says, good night, Julie, at Yorkshire Crafter. So that's very nice of everybody. So good night, Julie, and take care now. Right, let's have a look and see if we can finish this bit off. Okay. So, just going to gently try this top strip on here. Yeah, it will line up on there nicely now. Yeah, well, so reach across and get a screw. Yeah, you might think that this is rather tedious, but it is rather tedious, I suppose. It depends on how much you want from your model. You know, how much you derive from putting just a couple of screws in. I think it's, you know, just something that we obviously need to do. We need to get screws in to put it together and what have you. So it's not tedious to me at all, but it's the mere fact that it does take quite a bit of doing, quite a bit of time, especially getting them lined up properly and what have you. Once you get them lined up, it should go in nicely. Yeah, should do it nicely. Okay. Reaching across for another screw. Let's get that third one in. Over that way, somewhere there. Come on, get in, don't slip off. Okay, there we go. Nicely. And I'll get a couple more in. And then we might even slide the next panel on, shall we? And then after the stream, I'll put that one on as well. So, just get this one in the hole. They're going to go in. It didn't seem as though it wanted to go in, that one. It isn't lined up properly. Come on. It's going. There we are. Just wanted lining up properly, that's all. So we can get that one in now. Oh. Yeah, I'm really glad that I've come to the end of the painting with this, and I can say without a shadow of a doubt it's been a struggle at times, and I'm actually looking forward to doing the East Yorkshire open top one, I think I mentioned that earlier. So I will actually be starting on that again this week. After this, I'll be straight onto it, and I'll be straight onto the chassis. That one was a bus that I bought from a neighbouring town. I saw it on Facebook Marketplace. It was really, really cheap. And yeah, if you've been following me and with the build on that one, you'll know why it was cheap. It was absolutely a wreck. So it was put together wrongly, and I think it was an old fella that put it together, and he's put all the different screws in different places and all that malarkey. And so we only found this out when we was taking it apart, of course, because when we was taking it apart, to do exactly the same with this, you know, like paint it. You can't paint it while it's all together. And so yeah, the interior of that's all done, of the open topper, and I've got the framework. It's not going in there. It's because it's not lined up properly yet. I've got the framework cut along the top deck here. This window here is actually going here, so that it's nice, the open top shape. All this is going to be cut off there, and the roof's off, of course. So all that's done, all that work, and it's just a case of sorting out the chassis, the engine, and the panels. And the panels, I'm going to have to put that with me jiggler. The panels have all come off, so they're all separate. And I bagged them all up, if you remember, so they're all in separate bags. So all I've got to do is pick the panels that I want, and obviously I don't want any of the roof, because there's none of the roof on an open top bus. So it's just literally the side panels, front and back, that's going to want painting. So already that's knocked a big chunk of time off with taking the roof and the windows and everything else off. So because obviously it's an open top bus. Right, where did my panel go? Where did my panel go? Where did it go? Right, so here is how the second panel will go. Here it is when I get my screwdriver to pick up these strips. Just gently ease the strip up so we can slide that panel underneath. Butterfingers. Come on. Butterfingers. Let's put that under there. Slide. So once you've got it slid, you can let it slide up to where it needs to go. And it needs to go just in there somewhere. Yeah, it does. So I don't all shout at once, but it wants me to see me put a couple more strips on. So let's go for a couple more strips, shall we? So at least get it in place, and then it'll be held in place. And of course there's the strips to go across the panels as well. Both these strips here and these little strips here and the little blue strips in there as well, they've got to go in. So, but for now we're just going to put 2 or 3 screws in here so that we can hold it together, so it didn't go anywhere. Picked up too many screws then. So, again, I'm sorry if it's going out of focus, but getting it into focus is a bit of a nuisance. Okay, that one. And if you remember, a couple of 3 weeks ago, I did exactly the same with the other side. I started putting some strips in and that, and some panels. I was doing that on I think somebody's stream, or was I doing it on the MCC UK? I can't remember now. But I did put some bits together, and yeah, I was trying to get back into it, and sort of failed miserably, really. But having said that, I feel a whole lot better now, and that's because I can actually see the end now, and you know, I can see the end results, what it's going to look like, and it's going to look absolutely marvelous. So I'm really, really glad I did this, and not the gold one. Especially with the people that said that they like this better than the gold one as well, and it's a model that's pretty much unrepresented with Southend transport. Is the Routemaster. There should be more models, and a lot of people say that you know, that there's one or two people that have adapted other models. I think there's one or two that's done the EFE into the smaller, like a Code 3 or something. But David Bassett was saying earlier about the Sunstar 1/24 scale. Yeah, that would be magic. I've seen one done in the Revel kit in Southend Transport, and of course that's an RML, not an RM. So is the Revel kit, but I've seen one done in that in these colours there, and do believe it was Steve Civita, I think. Yeah, I think he showed me a picture of that. So that's in for now. So I think that's as far as I'm going to go tonight on that. Yeah, don't do the strips on there. Where does that strip go? Does that strip go on there? Does it? Yeah, it does, I believe. Yeah, looks like it does. It goes across the top. Okay, then let's get a couple in there. Why not? Yeah, when I was sorting out the strips before, I was trying to work out, because of course with this model, all these strips are marked on the back of them. They are actually marked with a specific number and letters, like a code, which does tell you which ones go where. So it was quite easy to get into order. That's not going to go in there. Okay, let's try it in another one. Let's try it in the second one, shall we? This may be me. I'm not getting it lined up properly. There we are, maybe. Let's see if it'll go in there. Yes, it's gone in there. Jolly good show, chaps. And of course, all these screws are going to want touching up, because obviously when you're screwing them in with a screwdriver, you knock the paint off, or some of the paint. So that's what I was doing on one of the streams the other week. Was I think it was on Lindsay's stream. I was touching up all the strips and screw heads and things like that. So, and you've just got to take your time, and everything will come sweet once it's right. Okay, next. Let's have that one in. Yeah, that'll go in nicely. I wonder if that other one will go in now. Let's try it, shall we? And you can only go so far because of the panel, because you need to slot the other panel in, which I'm not going to slot the fourth one in now. Come on, get in there. Is it going to go? No. Yes, it is. It's gone in lovely. Lovely, there we are. It's down there. Right. I'm not sure if I can hear something outside. Or if it was a vehicle. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Right, so only them two there. That bottom strip there now. And is that one of them? Let's have a look. Is that one of them? I can't remember which one it is. Let's have a look. No, it's not that one. No. Unless it goes that way. Let's have a look. No, it's not that one. And that's because I haven't referenced the strips. Okay, let's have a look at that one. See if it's that one that goes along there. No, maybe that one. Yeah, maybe. Let's have a look. No, it isn't. No, you still know when it's the right one because obviously it'll line up with all the other strips and everything. All the other holes. Put that down there. Second. Put that one up. See if it's this one. No. That end. Could be. It could be. No, it's not that one either. No. Okay, let's try that one. That many strips, guys. Lots of them. There we are. That's the one. That's the pocket rocket, that one. Okay, let's go. Let's get that one in. Keep saying this is the last strip, this is the last strip. We've been going now an hour and 15 minutes or so. Well, I think that's long enough for a stream, isn't it, really? So, you know, I'll just get a couple in here and then I don't want to overdo it, guys. Especially when you're enjoying it so much. So, and it wouldn't be as enjoyable without you guys as well. So, it certainly wouldn't. Asking how it's getting on every week and, yeah, asking all the lovely questions and helping me with all the various bits and pieces that I've been asking and what have you. So, and it's education for me as well. I actually didn't know that Southend Transport had its own show bus. I knew that East Yorkshire had its own show bus, but I didn't know that Southend had their own show bus. And so it's been an education for me, and it's been well worth the effort. Because that makes you think about the other bus companies that had Routemasters. Did they have one? You know, was there any others? I know that Black Prince in Leeds, they had a Routemaster show bus. Its registration number was LDS, which is actually my son's initials. So, yeah, we used to see it around the rally circuit quite often. So that's got that done, and as then that's the last panel that goes in there then for the upper deck. But there's all these strips in between to go, and then the long one that goes across there, and then the the ones in between, the little ones in between, both the white ones and the blue ones in between to go in as well. So, and then we can start on the bottom deck then, once we've got them top ones in. So it's very, very nearly there. So I'm going to leave it there for now. I'm going to have a slurp of my tea. I'm going to tell you that the next one that I'm going to be building, as you know, is the East Yorkshire open top one. So I've got a lovely model here from Horlix. Horlix sent me this model. Thank you very much, Horlix. Still haven't got it in a cabinet. So this is East Yorkshire's one. It was fleet number 812 in their fleet, and it was, I do believe, ALM. Goodness me, I can't remember its registration number now. So it was, let's take it out of the box. Let's have a look. Let's have a look. Okay, it was ALM 65B. Okay, that was its registration number, ALM 65B. Now then, this is the East Yorkshire one. Okay, they converted it themselves. It was fully Routemaster, and they converted it themselves for seafront service along Bridlington, Hornsey, Scarborough, all up that way. There were several bits that were missing off it, like the rear destination. Didn't have a rear destination. The side destination didn't have a side destination. And the front destination was mostly blank. Often said just seafront service or Bridlington or Hornsey or whatever, just nice and simple. So that's an easier thing for me now, is that. And then the East Yorkshire along the side there and up here, I've actually got some. And this this kite emblem, I think you can see that. I don't know. You might be able to see it. The kite emblem, I'm actually going to soundwrite that on the real model. I've decided that I want to try my hand at a little bit of soundwriting, and I'm going to soundwrite the kite on by myself and see what I make of it. And that's because the panel that it's on there, I can actually do it off the bus if necessary. So, or lay the bus like this on its side. But yeah, I'm going to soundwrite the kite emblem. There's a couple of more decals that I need with www.eYMS.co.uk, and then that's the same in the white in the windows there, the EYMS UK. There's a couple of letters and numbers that I need, 812 in gold, and then the garage name and the name of the person in charge will be Peter Ship, no doubt. East Yorkshire Modz Services Limited, 25200 Anody Road, Hull. Yeah, I can't quite read that, but yeah, it was Peter Ship that was it. He was the managing director at that time. Well, actually, the owner. So, and I think I've said that the real bus, 812 or ALM 65B, me and Christine have actually been on the real bus as an open top bus at a show in the East Riding in Yorkshire area. So yeah, brings back lots of memories, and I've got the colours and everything for it, and I've done the interior of the top deck, I've done the interior of the bottom deck, so all the seats are all done, and all the interior parts of the seats, they're all done. I've just got to work mainly now on the chassis and the engine. Once I've built the chassis and the engine back up again, then I can start adding the body and the bottom deck and the top deck, etc., and then the body panels. So yeah, I'm hoping to get that on with that this week, and try and get a little bit done this week if I can. Okay, let's leave that on there for a second, and I'll bring back the chat. Let's have a look. So Dream Builder says, all good here, building some Lego before heading to bed. Okay. Lego's getting very popular now, I think, isn't it? It's very, I know that Horlix likes doing Lego. He does. Okay, Crafty Chris says hi, Dream Builder, and Dream Builder wave in hand. Ian Campbell says, I'm heading off now. Looking good. Catch you at tomorrow's tank build. Yeah. Good night, Ian. Thanks for joining. David Bassett says, good night, Ian. We've got Marvel Picks Todd in, and he says, hello and good evening, all. And hi, Dave. Hi, Todd. Thanks for joining. I'm just going to sign off. Well, I am in a minute. So, Geordie Dave's in. And evening, everyone. Hi, Geordie Dave. Hope you're well. And David Bassett says, great stream tonight, Sir Dave. Thank you. And David Bassett says, good evening, Geordie Dave. Horlix says, great stream, good progress made. Yeah, absolutely. Especially when you look, yeah, we've got them panels pretty much done, haven't we? So, apart from the odd strips down here and the little strips, of course, but yeah, pretty good progress. And as I say, all the panels are all painted. They're all raring to go. So David Bassett says that East Yorkshire Open Top model will be another wonderful project. So Dave, we'll look forward to seeing your progress on there. Thank you ever so much, David. Yeah, I'm itching to go on it really, but I've got to finish this one first. It would be so easy to think you could work on, several projects at a time, but I can't, unfortunately. So yeah, it will be really good. Book says I had to step away for a bit, start over, laughing out loud. Yeah. Well, I'm exactly the same. I'm exactly the same. Yeah, I've built quite a few of these things, and yeah, sometimes they do take your attention, especially getting the roof knitted up properly and getting these panels knitted up properly down here. The panels down here won't knit up if this framework isn't right. So what I was trying to tell you on one of your streams, Book, is that the framework has to be absolutely fantastic, nice and tight together before you can put your panels on. And that goes for the roof, for the sides, for the front, for the back. It all hinges on the framework. And sometimes the framework, especially like the joint here, for instance, sometimes it has to be filed on that joint to get it to fit absolutely spot on. And especially coming near the back here of the bus, when you're coming around with the panels, and especially on the roof as well. So, but yeah, once you get everything nice and tight, then it starts to come together a little bit better. So Lindsay's Bill says, excellent update and stream. Thank you, Lindsay, very much appreciated. Todd says, also wanted to thank you at the MCC UK and Ian Campbell for the custom Marvel Picks mat. I used it on Friday's stream with HTM. I actually saw that, Todd, and I thought, no, I'm going to zip and keep quiet because I know exactly what it was. So, well, you're welcome, Todd, and yeah, enjoy it, mate. So, and yeah, from all of us across here to you across there, because of what you do for the community. So, Max Modz says bedtime for me. Good night, everybody. Good night, Mark. Take care now, and we'll see you soon. And David Bassett says night, Max Modz. Geordie Dave says hi, David Bassett. David Bassett says, good night, Sir Dave, and everyone still watching. Good night, David. Thank you. And Geordie Dave says, night, Mark. Okay, right. Let's come back to me then, and I will say our goodbyes. Settings. Come on. Okay, I'm facing. There we go. Okay, so you've got me sweating already, you guys. Honestly. So, right, so that's as far as I'm going to go with this tonight. So, yeah, expect a full update from me within the next week, and I will be putting pictures on of it finished out in the garden and probably somewhere else, and then I will be starting on the open top one this week, all being well. So yeah, hopefully. So now I've said that, I'm going to stick to it and try and do that. Okay. And right, so tomorrow night we've got the Disney Doll's House with Crafty Chris and Yorkshire Crafter, and after that we've got the tank build with Horlix and Geordie Dave, and that's tomorrow evening. So I think, is there a HTM tonight, Todd, from about 2 o'clock in the morning? So I think there probably is a HTM tonight, Hobby Time Modelers, from about 2 o'clock in the morning. I haven't actually looked today, so because I've been that busy. So, but yeah, I think there's probably one tonight through the Hobby Time Modelers. Anyway, check them out and see how good they are, because they are absolutely fantastic. They're brilliant mates. They really are. So, okay, with all that said, then I'm going to sign off, and I'm going to find my banner first. So if you want this bus, you can find it from AGORA Models. Okay, and that's how you contact AGORA Models. So and then, you know, them guys will see to you at AGORA Models if you want one of these or one of the other models that they have there. Worthwhile checking them out, I can tell you. So, and I'm going to find my brand, and I'm going to highlight my brand in case, and then go back to my chat, because I know there's some chat coming in. So I'm going to say, where are we? Geordie Dave says, great, Todd, you're welcome. Book says, good night all. And Dream Builder says, good night all. Crafty Chris says, good night everyone, stay safe. Dream Builder says, good night all. And Horlix says, good night, good evening, and see you all tomorrow. Good evening, good night. And Geordie Dave says, night everyone. So with that then, I'm going to say good night everyone, take care, and thank you ever so much for joining me tonight. If you're not already subscribed, subscribe in the normal fashion and press the bell, and that'll notify you of any of the videos that I do or lives that I do. Okay, so it's a good night from me, take care, and we will see you shortly on another video. So good night, and God bless, and stay safe.